Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Q&A live stream. I am your host, Sarnie, and we are here with the wonderful Mod Kirby, Mod Ash, and Mod Bruno to dive in our general Q&A. So first off, of course, how is everybody doing? Ash, would you like to start?
Doing well, thanks. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, it's been a good week, interesting week. So yeah, very, very good. Bruno, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Been getting stuck into leagues, that's been really fun. And also very busy with work and the updates and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been trying to balance my time between leagues and Arceus, and it's been a difficult struggle. I'm not gonna lie. Kirby, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I find the best way to balance RuneScape and Arceus is just not to play Arceus.
Yep, I mean that's a fair point.
We're on the old school stream. We have to plug old school.
Of course. Go and play while you're watching. Like it's the perfect time.
Okay, for these purposes,
right.
Arceus is the district of Kourend where the mages live, the ones who float around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sarnie's actually just getting his favour up to 100 because it's a lot of effort.
Yeah, just constantly resetting accounts and going back and just getting that favour up over and over again.
You love
my
reading
favourite
books.
region. I love it. Awesome. All right. As of course, though, before we start with the Q&A, I'm going to go through some announcements just to let you know what you need to type in the chat for more information. So first off is exclamation mark, latest poll. Our latest poll is Guardians of the Rift, a new Runecraft minigame. Skill and outfit and more are ready for you to cast your vote now. Use the command exclamation mark current poll to find out more. Exclamation mark game update. We've added a new boss to the Revenant Caves, the Revenant Maledictus. Wilderness Slayer's also been updated along with a number of leagues free fixes. So you can check out all in our latest blog with that exclamation mark. And finally, exclamation mark stream summary. If you missed last week's live stream and would like to catch up on the Guardians of the Rift Q&A, don't worry because we've got you covered with a complete transcript ready to help you catch up. Use that in the text now if you want to catch up there. And awesome. All right, before we jump in, let's take a look at some UGC because I know we haven't really done any for a while because we've had a lot of important Q&As to do. So the first one is by Pragnolia. It's a young dark wizard. Here we go. Pretty cool video there from Pragnolia, I've got to say. I imagine a lot of people can relate to that experience, to be honest. I know I definitely can. Really, really cool. I love the sheep and the sort of half-drunken walk from the adventurer.
Them HD clients are getting a bit good.
Yeah, if this is the direction they're going in, that's insane.
Awesome. It's RuneScape with RTX on.
Cool. So next we have a Lego Zora by GoPews 2018. Got all three forms as well. So cool, man. I know we featured GoPews stuff a couple of times actually, and as a big Lego fan myself, always seeing their stuff is fantastic.
I'm just looking at all the bricks on the side of the thing, and I'm just terrified of the thought of putting it together myself.
You reckon there's like a whole solid base? That bit is just all bricks.
I don't know if it's solid, but I'm not building it either way.
I love how the back bits, how the tails don't just fall over.
Yeah, they're really, really cool though. Really, really cool. Awesome. All right, the next one we have is a Guffin figure from Zemex. Another sort of Lego. Well, I would say this is probably more Mega Blocks, right? A lot of construction block brick building stuff in today's UGC. I like it.
The brick construction toys are available, probably.
Yeah, and the final one we have is titled "Grab Your Potions, We Are Off to the Wildy." This is by Richest Man 78.
Are those strength potions he's taking to the wildy?
Sometimes you just want strength.
Yeah.
Maybe the bruise, but you'd expect restores with that. So, yeah, maybe
Maybe they
just
forgot.
not very ready. They're just
Yeah,
a
maybe they
low-level
forgot.
linemen.
They're in a rush.
Please.
They're in a rush.
Well, if he wants if he wants to go near the Green Dragons, he's got something ready for him.
Yeah, I suppose depending on where he's going as well. I hope he's got a knife or something, because otherwise he's not getting through that web.
I think we recently added a knife to the Edgefield General Store, so that you don't have to grab one of those from the bank if you don't want to. Of course, you'd still need to grab it from the shop, but it's just an available thing.
Oh, awesome stuff. Thank you for those creations. Please keep creating more, because I love seeing it when I'm scrolling through all the socials and stuff. It's just there's so much out there. It's hard to like narrow it down to what to put into each live stream. But yeah, so good. Right, I think without further ado, then we should get into the general Q&A. We've got questions, I think, from the last couple of weeks spanning over this. So we will just crack on and go to the first one, which is from Boogie the Hedgehog. They said, I know this has been asked a lot, but are there any current plans to address Wintertodt HP scaling? Ideas for warmth gauges and bandages, etc. Have been thrown out around for many years, yet to this day it's still a pain to kill this boss without being early or late into your account. It would be nice to shake up the early game of most accounts and know the positioning fire making training, or sorry, that postponing fire making training isn't going to bite you in the arse if you come back later.
I mean, to that second point, I still think people are going to do Wintertodt early just because the crate value is absolutely insane. To the first part, it probably needs doing, but it needs more of an idea. Just just add warmth gauges to it. It needs to like have a proper sit down and think about it, and it's definitely something we should spend time on. To be fair,
I do think the warmth gauge is a good approach of the various approaches that have come up for it, on the grounds that way it can be made independent of your hit points stat if that's what it needs. And and honestly, I prefer that hit points becomes a slight advantage to your character rather than a massive disadvantage, like which has done here.
Yeah, I know, especially with leagues. Like my first goal was straight to Wintertodt just because it was like the easiest thing to go for, unlocking that and just keeping it, steal loads of cakes, go straight to Wintertodt essentially. So I imagine that was a lot of other people's things. So yeah, nice to vary that in the future. Cool. The next question we have, now that we have a grand exchange tax for gold sinking, can we finally change the pet insurance system to be free and automatic, and for pets to go to your bank if your inventory is full and there's already a pet out, excluding the wildy? Many people never use their cosmetic pets because constantly losing 1 mil isn't fun.
I'm surprised to hear one's constantly dying in quite so much of the game, but I'm sympathetic. Thing is, for all we do have a grand exchange tax, it's not huge. I mean, we agreed on 1% for the launch, and while it's obviously got the scope to increase, at least for some kinds of items, even if we leave others alone, the game could probably do with more gold sinking rather than less. So even with this in there, I'm not in a massive rush myself to get rid of other gold sinks. And those million coins, well, you're kind of helping a little when you do that. I do, however, support anything we can get to do that will make it more reliable that you receive a pet rather than being unexpectedly blocked by having a full inventory when you didn't realise it was going to be full. I'd like us to. I'd be very keen for us to address that, even if we might keep some gold sinking going on for the rest. I'd also be up for the suggestions we've had involving preemptive insurance, or Proba to just having a big coffer so that if you've got enough in there, pets are automatically insured when you receive them, so that if you die on the way out with them, you don't lose the pet in that most gutting way of all.
Yeah, I think you're completely right, Ash. There's some elements of the pet insurance and pet gaining that probably need some tweaking too. But yeah, if you are dying that much with your pets out, just maybe for now, don't get your pets out. Keep them safe. Because if that's your biggest problem, like there's a easy navigation around that for now anyway. Cool. Cool. The next question we have is from YoshiFan12, saying Modzuko had proposed a rework to teleport items with charges. The gist of the post, from my understanding, would be to make all teleport charges be tracked via a player variable, like the dodgy necklace, instead of an object variable, e.g., Xeric's talisman, or having one type of item per charge, e.g., Amulet of Glory. Would it be possible to implement this change? And if so, would the devs be interested in polling it? Now, there was a brief discussion amongst the team today about it, funnily enough. So I've got a couple of quotes here. One from Modzuko saying, it would be very possible. I personally would love to see it polled as a future update where we have an NPC at the Grand Exchange that can convert your items into the new charge systems and untradeable. That way we don't affect any of the game at all. Not the Grand Exchange, not monster drops, not anything, but the option is still there. And Mod Kieran has also said, supportive of the change, they're smart, and I'm confident we can nail any of the finer details. However, it's about our time to develop these things. So one for the future, possibly for one of our teams, when a poll can accommodate such a bigger task. Other teams don't really have the space to handle it at the moment. So hopefully that answers your question, Yoshi fan. I don't know if anyone else has anything for that.
I'd be personally interested in what the behaviour change would be for taking a load of amulets of glory to recharge them, because that is quite a change from each one having the number of charges on it to the number of charges being stored on you. I'm not quite sure how this would affect the recharging process. On the other hand, it sounds like Zuko's thought this one through, so there's probably an answer out there that I just haven't seen in the Slack thread.
I'd also want
the
to know
answer's
what
quite
we'd
clear just to
do.
get them to do it.
Yeah. I'd also want to know what we'd do to things like the Eternal Glory, which is like, well, if you only need one glory, then that item's kind of useless, even if it does have infinite charges compared to like a set amount of charges. So that's one thing we should figure out.
Yeah, I feel that that's definitely some kinks, but yeah, like Ash said, I think Zuko's done a lot of thinking about it, so there's probably not too many kinks that I imagine would have to be.
Sarnie, next time you have a quote from one of our colleagues, can you do the voice?
Yeah, you know what? I will try my best. I will try my best, Ash.
Well, we also have a quote
I'm
from
not-
Kieran, so
I'm not going to try Kieran's now. Give me like a week, and I will perfect his voice.
I foresee no
get it
repercussions from this at all.
Yeah, I'll make sure he has a quote in next week's Q&A, and I will do it then. All right, you can hold me to that.
okay.
Awesome. All right, the next question we have is from Synex. Are there any plans for new POH styles? There's a lot of potential for new ones based on examples like Prif, Mauritania, and Shazian.
I think they'd be very cool. Yeah, they'd be very cool. As far as I know, they do take quite a lot of time from the artists. So I think that'd be the main thing blocking us from doing it.
If I'm going to sort of divert the question a bit, but if there's one theme you guys would like to see, what would it be?
Maybe an album one for me.
The Mauritania idea pips that one for me, but only just. Reason being, we don't have a lot of dark options out there, and I think Mauritania could be a very atmospheric one.
I was going to go over Kenj.
Ooh, Kirby coming in with a rogue option. Okay, I like it. I like it.
I That one's all yours.
I will use it proudly.
Awesome. The next question we have is from Ubertai. Are there any plans to address the next drop rates? Hype dying down after the first week is normal, but the nerf killed the boss's popularity. Can we revert the nerf or even buff it further?
I think it was felt to be bringing the stuff into the game a bit too fast before the nerf, and sure, a boss that's more rewarding will be even more popular, but that's not a good thing for the long term, especially if it's if it floods the game with its own uniques and makes them lose value faster. So I'm very sorry, but I don't think we're going to get to do that.
Yeah, I was looking at the wiki earlier today. Yeah, I was right. It is killing next is listed on the wiki as like twice the profit per hour over the next best thing. I don't think we want to be like playing with drop rates when it's like we're risking that much money into the game.
Yeah, I think well said, Kirby. Cool. The next one is from Sarnie. And they said, could Barbarian Training be reworked as a mini quest? Current layout is clunky and it's difficult to know what step you're on, what you need to do to finish the training.
Oh, totally. See, when it was agreed we'd do the mini quest journals at all and declare those other things to be mini quests, I looked at the two things where I ran into and decided I was just leaving the damn thing alone were this and the rogue trader activities around Ali Morrisane. And this, in the case of Barbarian Training, it's partly because the thing actually already had a journal of what you've learnt. I forget what it's called. It's like things I've learnt from Otto Godblessed or something. So it has a sort of journal already and didn't seem particularly urgent to make more of. Also, it didn't really have an definable endpoint I could get my hands on because it just had a few things, each of which you might get some progress on. It didn't really feel like it ended to me, but we could define an end. I mean, and just as we could probably define an end for the stuff with Ali Morrisane. But at the time, I had like another 11 to do. I think I spent an entire blinking weekend doing them. And looking at these two, I just left it at that point. Future younger and fitter developers are most welcome to jump on it. Sorry, I mean jump on the job.
Well, there you go. If there are any devs that heard that, feel free. It's there for you. Cool, thank you, Ash.
I think I've been soiled on the idea, funnily enough.
Good. Cool. All right then. Caneland69 asked, any plans or additions to the clan hall? I feel like there could be a gold/item sync potential there with upgrades that add more things to do. For example, donating X amount of ores/saplings to add some higher skill tier skilling nodes, or donating enough money as a clan to unlock alternate color palettes or themes for the clan hall itself, like house themes.
The original design actually had some of that already, especially the themes. Unfortunately, we ran short of dev time, so it's a question of do we postpone the whole launch and build more of these things in and then launch it, or do we give the players a clan hall to call their own, but accept it doesn't have customization? We went for that option as it was because we also had to get on and deal with Group Iron Man, which players have been waiting for a very long time as well. And there was a dead man due, and couldn't spend forever on one project. But I am very keen that we get to go back and build in more when time permits. Additional colour palettes should be entirely manageable. One thing we did spend a while experimenting with that didn't work out was recolouring the contents of the clan hall to match your clan's colour. Like at the moment, it's always blue in there. All the furniture's blue and the carpet's blue and dabba-dee dabba-da, you get the drift. But Modellino actually managed to make a version of it where almost everything in there changed colour to suit your clan's chosen colour, which looked somewhat uwu if it was one of the pink ones, I think. And it worked for everything except the carpet. And the carpet was a bit of a sticking point because there's so much of it and it was always going to be the same darn colour, whatever else we did with the rest of it. So the artists recommended that we not go ahead with that feature at all, so if we couldn't do it fully. If we can, expand what she was doing to, I'm going to say literally make the carpet match the upholstery, I think it would be a very good thing to have for making it feel more like your own place. As for training facilities in there, I'd be up for that. It's unlikely that we'd end up with anything that's completely best in slot, but given that a lot of these things already have a version near a bank, I don't really see a problem with that. And one of the suggestions I saw floating around was that we let you pay to hire the services of Bob Barter the potion decanting dude and maybe Murky Matt the jewelry decanting dude, so that you get one of those parked in your clan hall bank for a little while in exchange for a fee, so that you can get the decanting done in there without having to go back outside again. Just as a thing that the clan might like to do in there. Over to the rest of you, though.
You said that, and I'm thinking, how hard would that be to implement?
Not very. The clan hall already has a data slot set up for it, so there's data in focus while the hall's in use. Therefore, one can access that data to decide what the hall can have in it. And there's already a variable tracking, the clan's small coffer. Speaking of which, what I'd really like to do, possibly more than what Caitlin's asked for, is rework that clan coffer into something like what Group Iron Man's got for the group storage. We didn't have the tech at the time to do something on that scale. We do now. And it would get rid of that small cap it's got on it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I now want an Uwu colour theme. I don't care what it is, I just want it now. Ash has mentioned it, so I'm going to push some of the other artists on that, maybe. Cool. The next question we have is from Abnormal Armadillo, who asks, some skill and boosting items seem to be tradable, but not others. Any chances will be changed? Spirit Flakes versus Blood Essence is the example they've given.
Agree in principle, however, with the example you've given there, Spirit Flakes are also unfortunately a currency that you can acquire for upgrading your Spirit Anglers. I don't know whether that's the thing that should be buyable. The design would indicate that it shouldn't be, but in general, I'm more than fine with making skilling stuff tradable.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it should be a case-by-case basis, where if something like those flakes do give you an actual good bonus, maybe not. So you don't just buy and make Tempros a lot easier for yourself, so you'd have to carry on a rope. But for things like the Blood Essence, yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Awesome, thank you. Actually, we've got another question from Abnormal Armadillo, so 2 questions for you. Can we get a skill cape teleport for the Woodcutting Guild? Maybe waive the favor needed for the guild if someone has 99, or make the teleport go outside if the favor has not been obtained yet.
I'd support this. It seems popular. I don't see a pressing reason not to. There are other ways to get there, of course, but it's not like some of those skill capes give a lot of bonus for themselves. So I'm cool with it.
What's the woodcutting even give? I can't think. What does the woodcutting cape even give you?
I don't know.
I think Ash is right though.
Increased birds
probably
nests.
A lot.
Yeah, I think it doesn't really have a very good one, but it apparently gives you some other birds nests.
You can tell it's an important power-up because I couldn't even remember what it does.
I was going to say. I think Ash is right. There are probably a lot of capes in the game that don't lack that functionality that others do, which is a shame.
Yeah, and I don't think
Yeah.
the excuse of, well, this item already does that, so we shouldn't do it, really holds up, because the skills necklace also teleports you to the crafting guild, the farming guild, yeah, and both of those
Yeah.
capes teleport you to their guilds as well, so I don't see why not, really. It does make the max cape a bit stronger, but that's already a very strong item.
It's the woodcutting guild.
Yeah. So I personally wouldn't mind it either.
Awesome.
If we want to be really generous, then we can get some picky about where we put them within the guild. So it's something that having this cape is better than having the skills necklace.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Sketty asks, that's not just my accent, that's their name. Can mobile get a toggle that switches chin traps default click from check to reset, make hunter on mobile better?
Don't think it should be a toggle. I think it should just be a thing. Having done some chin chomper hunting like this week, yeah, the reset option was very nice compared to how it was like back when I did it. And I also like that you can't 3-tick whilst making it easy for yourself, which is like, it balances it out. So I personally wouldn't mind it being a left click reset.
If the thing's got a reset visible to you, I mean, even as a right click option, doesn't that tell you full well what check will do if you were to click that? As in, it's in a state where you need to reset it, mate. Feels therefore need to be there.
I think check only takes opens the box, whereas reset slowly queues you up to check the box and then plant another one down. So you should still be able to 3-tick even if it is left click reset.
Okay, well, yeah, maybe. We'll see. Cool. Just had Wendy's. Never had Wendy's. I don't know if anyone can confirm if it's good or not, but can we please get a system to safely transfer names without having to resort to going to the black market? This sort of system has been going on for way too long, and so many people are getting names sniped. The name selling market is probably one of the shadiest markets there is. Please put a stop to it.
We had that looked into last year already, actually, because the team's already very supportive of this one. Unfortunately, the engine and back-end system work required to make it work is quite large. Totally worth it in most people's opinions, as far as I've heard, but not something we've been able to undertake yet. There is quite a queue for those teams, unfortunately, of other things that's very important to players. So I think we all want this, but we can't have it yet. Sorry.
Thank you, Ash. The next question we have is from Captain Alpha Walrus. Clue boxes have been one of my favourite quality of life in improvements in Shattered Relics leagues. I love taking a break from Slayer to do clues between tasks rather than during them. Would it be possible to poll them again for the main game? My only concern would be letting people stack clues from impling jars, but I think that would be a simple compromise to bring clue boxes to the main game. I have a feeling what our answer is going to be on this, but
So I had some discussions with players about this one because, hey, it got reasonable support last time, even if it didn't quite pass. So maybe asking the question again will get a different answer. Is the reason that people brought up for not wanting it? At the moment, you go on a trip, you get a clue, that's your clue, and unless you end your trip there and then and go do that clue, any further kills on that trip won't give you a clue because you've already got one. Now, we change it so that things can be stackable via clue boxes or whatever, and somebody could pick up their clue and then continue the trip with more chances of getting more clues. Even if we cap it very low, like 5 or even 3, they're still potentially going to come back from that trip with more clues than they would have before. Now, that is, of course, what they're quite keen on, I suspect. But some of the players said they don't want this change because if it becomes easier to gather the things without interrupting your training, you probably will gather more of the things, therefore you'll do more of the things, and bring the rewards into the game more. And to the players who were voting against this last time, that's just undesirable, and it was undesirable then, and it's remained undesirable now. So I think if we were to repoll this, we would run into a perfectly legitimate objection that is just still there. So while I don't have a problem in principle with asking again whether people change their mind, having seen another league that does it differently and got their hopes up, we do have strong reasons to think that people may not have changed their minds.
Yeah, I feel like just from looking at the chat, it's very, very split right now. So I feel like it's not much has changed in terms of more support or less support. Yeah. Cool. Yikes Official has asked, has there been any more thought given to increases the Grand Exchange tax value and whether additional items will be added to the list?
Oh, I thought you were going to read the rest. Hell yeah. Now, there's a lot more stuff we'd like to be able to sync from it. Unfortunately, it only sinks yay much cash at the moment, and the more items we take out, the more of that cash is being brought back in again, buying those items off you. So, since we'd like it to keep working as a gold sync as well as an item sync, that limits how many items we're going to get to sync from it. Otherwise, honestly, the players who said do all clue score rewards, hey, why not? Probably good for their value. We don't have an objection in principle. We just would have to rate the tax a very long way up to afford all that stuff. And that's something that we'd be cautious about doing. Players have been very understanding about having a tax in the game, but it was a big deal to some. Understandable, really. If you're not really interested in the economy in the game's economy, from your point of view, you're getting less money, and so we are very grateful to all the players who've understood why we thought this was necessary at all, and we hope that the effect on item prices being more stable has been of some help for the items we have been sinking. But so in terms of raising it, there's a lot of basic training materials I prefer not to tax further. But cosmetic things, luxury items, if we were to increase, maybe those would be more appropriate targets. The system can be flexible. I mean, at the moment it's 1% for everything, but it would be able to handle 0.9% for really basic stuff, 1.2% for a different category of things, 1.9% for luxury goods, whatever the heck one of those would be, probably something trimmed. We'd be able to, it's flexible enough to be able to handle that if we want, if you guys are cool with it, and if it seems like a good way to go. For the moment, we're just playing cautious with how much more we soak from you, because a lot of you may not like it.
Imagine if, especially, we changed the clue boxes from the last question, it would definitely be on our minds to to add them to the list. Cool. Slayer guy asks, are there any plans to change some of the kill count requirement combat task? Please don't lock combat achievements behind time sinks and instead focus more on skill testing challenges. If I can kill a boss 100 times, I can kill it 250 times.
Yeah, this is something we've discussed within the team, and we do kind of agree that maybe for some of the tasks we went pretty overboard. For example, 250 Theatre of Bloods. We discussed lowering it so that if you complete all of the tasks, you should reasonably pretty much complete the kill count tasks by the time you've done that as well. So instead of completing all the tasks in less than 100 and then having to grind out another 150 tasks, 150 raids for that task, then you just be able to have it already done by then, which seems fair. Because yeah, I do agree, if you've done Theatre of Blood 100 times, it's probably not that much more you can learn in the next 150 that would make you better at the game. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much, Bruno. Pineapple Devourer asks, can we get Elemental Workshop free quests in the future with new rewards? Currently, if you look at Elemental / Mind Armor, it's kind of weak compared to the effort needed to make it. It would be nice if they get an update.
Considering we've hired back into the team Mod Dylan, who wrote Elemental Workshops 1 and 2 and 3 for RS3, I think persuading him to write another one for Old School with whatever differences it may or may not have from RS3's version, he might jump on it.
Give him a week and a bottle of gin, I think he will have it in QA by next Tuesday.
Well, give him a bottle of gin, he'll take the bottle of gin, but I think it's a fun project for him. I also know that at least one other person in the team's given some thought to what an Elemental Workshop 3 could be, so it doesn't have to be him, but given what a great job he did on the first 2, it really is very tempting.
Yeah, I mean,
if there's a goblin defending the mine section of the dungeon, then I'll be down for that.
Is this the Mind Goblin joke?
It would be the Mind Goblin, yeah.
Honestly, I was waiting for someone to make that reference.
Given that the Mind Altar is basically around the corner from the Goblin village, we're there.
Yeah, so technically, we might already have plenty of Mind Goblins, so you know. We've got one from Grow One Mate. Will we ever get a solo-only version of Nex, similar to Sarnie's Nightmare?
You don't like hard modes? Right, unironically, I do love Sarnie's Nightmare. Convincing Arcane to do it again might not be too hard, but finding the time to do it and do it justice is going to be the harder part.
Yeah, especially what he's currently working on. I think he's probably got quite enough on his plate at the moment to try and slot in a solo Nex version. Cool. He950 user says, can you change Puro Dragon Impling spawn time to random? Wiki says it's random, but it's not. And some farmers / bots use timers to be on that world when they spawn. They don't know the corner where the Impling will spawn, but they know the time. Someone is lucky to get it before them, and they just reset the timer.
I'd guess that the what the wiki was told about it being random related to the corner. Then apologies if we misinformed the wiki people. Making it more random sounds like a great idea in the circumstances.
Yeah, I'm actually going to have a look at the wiki in a second, see if that's right. PepsiCo is good ask. Can the Slayer Cape be purchased from an additional Slayer Master instead of just Duradel? If you wonder why, it's because I have a Max Combat 99 Slayer Iron Man, and I want to buy a Slayer Cape, but I can't do Shiloh Village. Besides Herblore, it is the only 99 Cape locked behind a quest, since you need to do a quest before unlocking the skill.
In my opinion, no. I don't think we should be adding ways to get different items just because 2 or 3 people with a really random Snowflake Iron Man or Snowflake account can't access those things, or maybe don't make those sort of accounts. And I also like that there's only one kind of like skill master per skill. It would be kind of weird if there's like random skill masters about in the game. Also, who would do it? Like, who would make the second Slayer skill master? Kind of just adds questions that we don't really need to answer.
Yeah, we've got
if you want the rewards, do the content.
For what it's worth, if we did have to put that cape on someone else, I'd vote for Eve, the guardian of the Blue Dragons has go in the area, on the grounds that she looks.
There you go. Well, if it is going anywhere, it's
very
going
ferocious.
on Eve, so.
Well, it definitely can't go on Neve for certain reasons.
Oh no!
I'd rather not spoil.
Yeah. We won't say, but yeah.
I'm guessing if the player isn't doing Shiloh Village, they probably aren't doing the quest where it becomes a problem for Neve. But
True.
What account they're building?
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's a very fair point, Ash. All right, Abnormal Armadillo, you've got featured a lot in this one. You got a third question. All right. can we get some more things for the POH? Simple stuff like a square mahogany dining table, kitchen table, mahogany larders, and maybe a butter churn for the kitchen. Also, redwood furniture.
I would be very glad to see a series of redwood furniture using just for the prestige of having built it. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference to the use for redwood across the game, but if you had to be pretty high level to build the stuff, then it would be, well, maybe a nice flex for those who are interested in that kind of thing. As for the butter churn, it seems rare to run into people who want a lot of butter churning, but I'll be willing. I mean, let's face it, if we devalue butter churning across the game, I suspect the world will forgive us. The other stuff does indeed seem simple. I assume that's aiming for more training methods that hoping to affect the XP rates, and that's not something we'd be quite so easy about offering. But maybe a butter churn
might be good for the butter churn only Iron Man. He's going for 99 cooking, just using the butter churn though.
Excellent that we wanted to bring in a dairy cow, which we could allow.
I mean, I'd actually be more up for bringing in a dairy cow to the POH than a butter churn.
Hi, I'm Mod Kirby and I don't support animal cruelty.
Probably
Carry
crash
a player
cheese.
Yeah, that's one market we don't want to mess with. So maybe not for the meantime. I want to get taxed on my cheese. Thank you very much. Barafo asks, can we buff Demon Bane spells? Here are some thoughts. Reduce the magic defense of demon bosses. I can see all of them. They're so small in the in the box down there. Add a way to save rooms, perhaps with the drawback of reduced XP. Make Mark of Darkness cast on yourself and last 7 times as long, like a child's spell. And the final one is make Kodai Wand cast 1 tick faster with them.
We'd be able to make the spells unusually accurate against demons without having to change the magic defense for the demon bosses, if we didn't want to risk undesired consequences while still achieving what the player's looking for.
What level are the Demon Bane spells? I can't even remember now. This entire podcast is just an advert for the OSRS wiki, because it's good. Okay, it's level 82 for the max one. Yeah, it could do with some minor buff maybe. But I know it's one of the things when you take it to the team and run some numbers and go through like several different ideas of what we could do with it. Ugh.
We've got fairly good code support for things that save runes for what it's worth, so that one could be a relatively quick win if agreed.
Awesome. All right. The next question we have is from Kurt the Flirt. Fishing Trawler was reworked to improve it, but somehow did not add mobile into that equation. Can we get an update to make Trawler, especially the top with the Kraken, more mobile friendly? For example, there are no visual indicators on mobile when it's the correct time to attack the Kraken or fix the rail.
Adding visual indicators, preferably in-game ones rather than geometric overlay effects, sounds like a rather good move.
I mean, this just reads like the bar at the top is missing to me, or at least the information on the bar at the top is missing. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I don't play on mobile. I don't know the UI for the minigame on mobile. I don't know if it's been removed intentionally or not, but that's definitely worth investigating.
I'd imagine it's there, right, though? It's, gives you quite important
Well,
information.
It might have been too obtrusive, to be honest, because mobile is often not a very big screen, and we often sacrifice some of this stuff to avoid it occupying everything the player's trying to see. But honestly, if we were able to make the Kraken itself look like it's ready to be attacked, or make the raid itself look like it's ready to be fixed, I would always find that preferable to having fourth wall breaking indicators written on the screen elsewhere, making you respond to symbols and words. The more we can do with the actual game's graphics, I think the better it might feel, as well as being platform agnostic.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I did some fishing trawler today, actually, funnily enough, and yeah, it's a bit of like a, just a random wait until is ready sort of thing. It's just I sort of hover my mouse over and then be like, okay, right, I can fix it now. So.
Gotta admit, I tend to stay below, playing with my bucket and plugging things.
I can't resist going up and smacking the Kraken about with my axe, to be honest.
See, I do solo. I have to do everything. It's also really fun, but I guess I just got used to the timing, which just means I'm sort of desensitized to the slight bit of jank it has.
Well, I also remember it from RS Classic, which means I'm very desensitized to kind of jank it might have.
Well said, Ash. Well said. Cool. The next question we have is from Nealt68. Have you guys considered adding a barley seed pack the same way we have Vala water packs and rune packs? Wild hopping to buy seeds for birdhouses isn't fun, and ultimately it's not even the bottleneck since we also need to get the logs. It's as quality of life as it gets.
I wouldn't really mind since no one actually farms barley, I don't think. Aside from maybe the barley locked patch Iron Man, I don't know. But yeah, I do remember people complaining a lot about not having a good way to get seeds for birdhouses aside from like just spam pickpocketing and hoping for the best. So I wouldn't mind personally.
Looking at it from another point of view, maybe birdhouses could accept other kinds of seed. Not every kind of seed, but more. But the aim of birdhouses, I think, was people got lots of seeds they probably don't want. Why don't we let some of the more useless ones be used in these birdhouses? If we've now got to the point where we need to flood the game with more of the useless seeds so it can go in a birdhouse, it feels to me like we could instead change the birdhouse. I'm sure there's a lot of potato seeds out there that people can't possibly want to plant all of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they already take herbs, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, I'm sure allotment seeds and flower seeds will also be a good addition to it.
Oh god, yeah, all the marigolds I never wanted to grow.
Yeah, I'm on board for definitely the allotment seeds, 100%. Yeah, cool. Maybe. Cool. Bakazora says, could there be a chance for Herblore to get the Mahogany Homes treatment in the future? Currently, only one way to level Herblore, making potions. I feel it could do with a mini game, maybe with a cauldron, perhaps.
What would the word be for Winter Todd for Herblore?
Herbie Todd?
Oh god.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe. It's one of the things, if someone had a really good design for a mini game involving Herblore, then I don't see why we'd ignore it if it was good enough.
I mean, a lot of the chat is like, no, and mentioning Herbivore. But...
Mm-hmm. I mean, cleaning herbs, if you get them in decent enough quantities, does give you a decent chunk of Herblore XP, so...
Yeah, okay. Well, again...
I can certainly imagine how the minigame might go, but I don't think anyone's calling for it that much.
Yeah, I suppose if we're going to do another sort of Winter Todd Temporis-esque thing, we'd probably weigh up what skills need it most. Herblore might be in there. Cool. We got Stefan, I'm going to guess him, but with a 7, asked if there are still plans for a mage offhand augment. Wouldn't the simple solution be to allow both the mage's book and the arcane to be upgraded? Keep the arcane best in slot for those that have it. Allow an alternative with Meiji books that isn't as good.
If they were to both come from the same piece of content, I don't see the Mage's book ever really getting upgraded, because it'll be the price of whatever upgrades it will probably be based on the arcane using it, unless it was just like extremely common, like the Pegasian crystals, where the thing limiting Pegasian crystals is the Ranger's boots instead of the Pegasian crystal itself. So I personally don't think we should upgrade the Mage's book and the arcane. It feels like that better item will just not be very much used, but open to it. Everyone else's thoughts on it.
We can upgrade the Mage's book via a separate piece of content if we wanted to do that, but we don't have to do everything at once.
I do like something that would, keep the arcane valuable so that it doesn't, go completely redundant. So I like that aspect of it. No strong feelings about. Well, honestly, I'm not quite sure what plans there may or may not have been about Mage offhand organs. I haven't been following this topic in the team lately.
Same.
Yeah, this is the first I've
As long
seen
as
of
they don't
it,
get a
so-
major, yeah, I think that discussion's died down after the Nightmare. But as long as we don't get Mage Training Arena 2, I don't mind.
Got it. Skip 2, go straight to 3.
Cool. So the next question we have is from Kim GFL. Enjoying Next a lot. However, there's a growing problem with gold farmers / bots making players take way more hits by running away from the boss in the final stage. They don't communicate. Some people intentionally spread viruses to create chaos. A few days ago, 2 guys jumped from world to world to troll all active masses. What can be done about this? And do we have a way to report it? It's quite annoying.
We can't speak for what Sports Team will or wouldn't be able to do, but while there's a disruptive behaviour option in the game, ultimately they may be a bit limited for being able to monitor to see who's really, really bad at handling these mechanics. Now, I know people do it on purpose, but this may not be one that can feasibly be solved with rule enforcement with the resources available to that team, who also have to deal with all the other things that go on across the game. So, short of changing the design so that there aren't mechanics that people can handle that badly, which seems a shame, or maybe making it more restricted so that fewer people can get in there, meaning that people won't be running in to mess with the masses. None of those seems very desirable. If there's a change that people would particularly like, one that doesn't depend on having staff available to monitor who's running around with a cough, then sure, we can look at design changes around it.
Yeah, thank you, Ash. Appreciate that.
For what it's worth, I don't like that we have to say no to the enforcement approach on these things. But if I sat here smiling and said yes, it's all going to be dealt with, just send the reports, and there's how many people it needs out there to act on them all, I don't think I'd be telling the truth.
Yeah, I think that's don't want to give false hope to people, especially. It's just not fair. It's just not fair on you guys. Cool. Maru asks, what does the team think about adding ornament / recolor kits for next items? The spiritual rangers / mages and warriors look great, and it'd be cool to have the ability to recolor the endgame armor. Racers are also hard to distinguish at the moment, and a revamp to make them as clear as ferocious gloves would be cool. What about the ZCB or future releases of Pernix Virtus?
Hey, you remember we were talking about next hard mode earlier? Yeah. I mean, conceptually, I don't hate any of these ideas. It's just a case of finding good content to put these things behind, because we don't want to just flood the game with random ornament kits.
It's been a while since we had a Clue reward expansion. maybe the time is coming. Ornament kits for just about anything can go there. Also, if it ended up being a very uncommon drop from something in the vicinity of Nex, that can work too. And yeah, considering the original 4 God Swords have cosmetic overrides for apart from overrides for themselves, there's overrides for their special attack graphics. That was pretty easy to do, if I recall correctly, recoloring the special attack graphics. So doing more of this stuff to the Zaros one seems pretty fair.
Awesome. Thank you. Next question is from you, RC2. Sort of similar to the Clue Scrolls one, but can birds' nests from woodcutting just go straight into our inventory? At least the ones with clues. I couldn't tell you how many clues I've lost at Redwoods while doing other stuff. Mining and fishing already have this.
Picking up there on that while doing other stuff, though I know that's how a lot of people like to play. For what it's worth, at the moment they act as a little reward for those who were paying attention, in the same way that when the game offers you something, if you're there to accept it, that's a win for you. But yes, we could just change it so that you always get the thing delivered straight into your inventory. Very convenient.
And for now, if you do have your sounds on, even if it's just like 1%, you will get a sound when a bird's nest drops, so that might help you if you're not paying attention at all. I know it helps me.
Yeah, we might have been a bit mean with that sound, because it's normally a little tweeting of birds falling. Sometimes it's a stage.
You say that, and that happened to me this week, and I was pretty shook for a good few seconds, and I was like, oh, it's just that thing that happens once every 256 times.
It happened to me the first time during leagues. I was like, oh my god, what is that?
Maybe we should take that out.
Come from?
I kind of like it. It keeps me on my toes, though.
It's like the opposite of ASMR videos, that thing.
If I can just get an hour of that screeching, that'll do me nicely.
I'm sure someone out there will make a YouTube video and send you a link.
Please, guys, please. The next question is from Latin Foodie. It says, Twin Strikes does not proc on melee-based special attacks. Is this a bug or a feature? Presumably the same is true for double tap and chain magic, but I don't have enough data to make that claim.
Someone yell at me if I'm
asked
wrong.
anyone.
I helped. I was on the team when this was done. I believe the decision was we didn't do special attacks for the previous leagues, therefore we didn't do special attacks for this league. That's what I remember anyway.
I think it's pretty consistent. It doesn't work on special attacks. So if the intention was for it not to work, that seems to have been implemented very thoroughly.
Implemented.
I also think it might be a little bit weird with some special attacks, especially like if you DDS, you're now expecting 4 hit splats. If you declaws, you're expecting 8. And also the special attacks are already good enough on their own. Sure, some of the special attacks are actually worse off if you use a special attack like a Dragon Scimitar, but I think it balances out fair enough.
I mean, 8 hits on a declaws sound amazing, but at the same time, very, very scary. So.
Well, you can't even see the 8 hits because we cap it 4 hits on you at a time, so yeah.
Maybe you are secretly then, maybe. Cool. We've got a couple more questions. The production team have said we can go on for an extra 10 minutes, which, if that's all right with you guys, that's what we want to wrap up.
I'm going to do whatever. I had no plans.
Awesome. I'll take Ash's refill as signing off. Awesome. The next question we've got is from Knight of Ardoin. Will Korend or the River Doin ever get canoe stations? Now, I know there was an idea featured in last month's Gazette that talks about extra canoe stations, but what do you guys think?
I'd like it. It is a bit of a hassle to try and like go around Korend if you don't have like the talisman or the book. or any of the skills necklaces and stuff like that, as I've found out with leagues. So yeah, that'd be nice.
Fine by me.
Yeah. I guess that's one of the good advantages of like doing stuff like leagues, is that we have a lot of people going through the early game experience again, so we can find all the things that just don't feel right, instead of going through it with sort of rose-tinted goggles.
Yeah, not only that, but even the later game experience. Where, like, if, for example, if I've maxed my account in 2017, and I've not touched anything like Fossil Island, it's a nice way for me to, like, learn this new content, which I didn't have to touch because I'm already maxed, so I like it.
The River Doyne's an interesting case, because one of the things it's got on it that really might get in the way is a stonky waterfall. But apart from that, I like it.
Have you not heard of whitewater rafting?
Yeah, I have. You go first.
I'll do it. I'll take the plunge, guys. It's fine. I'll do it.
You're not planning on going
Awesome.
up the waterfall, are you?
I'll try, Ash. If it can be done, I'll try it.
Don't get hit by a barrel coming off the ledge on the way down.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Meister Knights 969, I hope I pronounced that right, asked, will the Revenant boss have a pet? It would be cool to have a ghost taunting you around.
There was talk about it. The conclusion was it's not really a boss, so it would feel kind of weird to have a pet for it, but also we didn't poll it, so it's again kind of weird to just jam in a pet for this content we didn't poll.
It's also not very hard to grind out. You don't really, like, it's not easy to just like go do some Maledictus, because you have to wait for it to spawn whenever it spawns.
There's a lot of Iron players might have some trouble with this one as well. I mean, the launch week rush may go away presently, and almost certainly will, but at the moment it's not intended for solo use, and this would kind of lock them out from a pet if we went that way.
And also, you don't get to leave with that pet if there's like several people in that boss room.
Yeah, with the current insurance policy right now doesn't really cover that. So awesome. All right, we've got 3 more questions to go, and then I will wrap up. Expert section 8547 asks, can you please add a Temporos teleport to the game's necklace?
Me rapidly trying to remember how many teleports are on that necklace.
4, I think.
5?
Maybe 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah, 5 with Wintertide. Pretty sure.
Well, if one uses the menu, then we can fit as many as we like. But it's not that bad from Alcarid using the boat.
Yeah, I don't think it's too bad if you teleport to Alcarid with like the glory and then get the boat. Maybe it's a bit too much of a step, but it's not crazy, especially when you stay there for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a couple of options. I know it's not out of the way, but you've got to Ring a Jewel in as well. Or even, worst comes to worst, you teleport to Lumbee and then just go through the gate and make your way down. It's not too bad, to be honest. But maybe in the future, who knows? The next question is from Melly Oron. Can the tackle box have a deposit worn items button added?
I haven't used a tackle box enough to know.
Maybe.
Well, for what I call the thing, I'm pretty sure there can be made space on the interface for it, and I don't see a problem with that, so go for it. Just need someone to be available to do it.
I'm just thinking depositing worn items isn't usually a thing we do, but...
Well, all it's doing is saving you the hassle of, taking your kit off, and once there's inventory space for you to do so. And we've got the item unequipping code is flexible enough that it can unequip into just about anything you like. So I don't think we'd run into tech problems. I also would be surprised if it became massively overpowered as a consequence of this.
Yeah, the power level is not of concern, it's a tackle box.
Well, if you've got a pocket full of fish, you might really struggle to get your gear off and put it into your tackle box. So I could see the benefits there. It's not like it tries to put it back on you again afterwards.
Just constantly wrestling off your worn items. Cool. All right. The last question we have is from Konahar God. When will we have more information for the ARG that resulted in the full Wheel of Fortune and the Evil being found? Maybe just keep an eye. I can't really say more than that. Maybe just keep an eye out. I need to keep it as mysterious as possible.
Is this going to be another ARG that just links to a Rickroll?
I can't say, Kirby. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. If it is, it will be more elaborate. That's all I'll say.
Completion, one should fall for the Rickroll anyway.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Just before we go through the announcements again, I'm gonna announce something else, which a news post and socials will be following. But because we've seen how much you guys are enjoying Leagues 3, we are going to be extending it by 2 weeks. So the new date is the 16th of March, and that's when Leagues will finish. So there will be a news post, there will be some socials out very shortly. Once this is wrapped up, I'll get that all out for you guys. But yeah, you get an extra 2 weeks to play around. Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Let's go through the announcements again. So exclamation mark latest poll. Our latest poll is Guardians of the Rift, a new runecraft minigame. Skilling outfit and more are ready for you to cast your vote on now. Use the command to find out more. Exclamation mark game update. We've added a new boss to the Revenant Caves, Revenant Maledictus. Wilderness Slayer has also been updated along with a number of Leagues 3 fixes. Check it all out in our latest blog. And finally, exclamation mark stream summary. If you missed last week's live stream, you can catch up on a lovely Guardians of the Rift Q&A. And we've got the complete transcript ready for you to catch up on. So use that in the chat for more. That is all from us. Mods, Kirby, Ash, Bruno, thank you for coming on and joining me. Very, very fun Q&A this one. Any last words from any of you?
Thanks for watching.
There you go.
I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand.
Oh. I mean, on that note, we will see you next week. Bye all.